Hello there everybody, this is Alex from Hardcoin Guides, bringing my guide for God of War 3 on Chaos difficulty. Today we're doing part 4 entitled Palace of Hades. And we are starting with the mini-boss fight between the two Cerberuses. I would say it's a mini-boss fight. And yes, this is something I'm very actually proud of, because I figured out a better way of taking them out than just taking them head on. So just to kind of explain it just real fast for those that want the advice now, I recommend just staying as far away as you can. Just parry the fireballs and just use Bow of Apollo. Just keep dodging out of the way. If they charge at you, just, get ready for the block, get ready for the potential parry, and just try to stay as far back from them as you possibly can. It doesn't matter which ones you hit, just as long as you're hitting somebody, and then eventually, you'll get them in circle mode, and go from there. I do believe I think I have level 2 bow. Not that it really matters much, because the bow is still relatively good in terms of damage anyway, so it's kind of fine. Now, the problem with fighting these guys head-on is, one, there's two of them, and the other problem that I tend to have with them is an attack like that. There's a couple attacks that are very dangerous with these guys. There's technically two unblockable attacks. There's a grab attack they can do, which you got to wiggle your way out of, and it doesn't do that much damage, but it's still just there, and, well, any damage is not good damage, right? The other attack that they do that's annoying is an unblockable slam attack. It's telegraphed, but the only problem, though, is it's unblockable and it hurts. I'm pretty sure it's unblockable. I've not actually fully tested that theory, but as far as I'm aware, I don't think you can parry or block it. For the other attack, they have this charge thing that they do with the charge with their head, and that's parryable. You can block it. And if you're too far away, they're going to do that about 50% of the time. The other 50% is just probably going to be like a fireball, and that's what you want. Technically, you want either or, but as long as you just stay away and just use bow, keep your distance and just, not do what I used to do and just smash your head, into everything and just try to play with a little bit of range. You can save yourself some magic, you can save yourself some health, and just not have that too much of a hard fight, because as long as you trust in the bow, it's surprisingly really good. And I mentioned this in the other earlier parts too, but for those that might be, joining now and watching this particular fight itself, then yeah, the bow is really, really, really good for some strange reason. There's actually another attack that is incredibly hard to read. It's super hard to telegraph exactly when it's coming out. It's a really fast attack that they only do up close. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of tend to just recommend staying away and gaining your distance as much as you possibly can. And once they get close, run away, keep shooting them. And then once you're down to one Cerberus, then just, either keep doing the method that I mentioned, or just, take them head on. Whatever the case. Although, again, taking even one head on can be kind of dangerous, because unless you're really good at understanding the telegraphs and, when to read their attacks and which attack's going to come out, then I wouldn't recommend it too much unless you're confident with your skills. I'm not completely, not confident with myself with it, with up close fights. I just want to show you guys an easier way to kind of just deal with all that jazz. And of course, with these guys here that we just annihilated, same thing as always, just grab them. I recommend for a good part of the game, if you're on Chaos mode, if you want to take things a bit easier, then one of my recommendations is just grabs. Grabs are a big key aspect of the game. They help out tremendously. And God of War 3 at least has a ton of options for grabs, which is nice. So I'm fast-forwarding through this stuff, but I'm going to actually stop fast-forwarding when we get to the Harpies, so that way I can show off a couple of moves that I don't think I've shown off before. Of course, the bow, I use that quite a bit. And I use the L1 circle move to pretty much just launch myself toward the enemy. And immediately after I do L1 circle, I usually go for a grab. And of course, sometimes I accidentally kill the enemy with L1 circle, and then, well, I can't do the regular grab, so that, always sucks, but hey, at least they're gone and they're dead. So the Harpies are not that hard, but I'm just still showing it off just in case somebody might, question, well, how do I, take out the Harpies a little bit better or something? I don't know. This is a guide after all, so I'm supposed to be technically showing you guys what I do. Not that you have to follow exactly, but, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. My brain's not letting me figure things out, I guess. But yeah, so this puzzle is relatively easy, at least down here. This part of the puzzle is easy. It's just the upstairs one that I would say is a bit more annoying. It takes forever to do. Although none of them are really that hard, quote unquote. I mean, if you've played the game a million times, then yeah, of course you're going to know what to do. But it's been a bit, like, I remembered what to do. It's been a bit, and then I kind of did the wrong order of things, and that screwed all that up, and then I have to, fast forward that entire section. But that's coming up the next few minutes here. So first, before we start doing the fast forward thing for the new puzzle, we're going to have these guys to fight. So pretty much all you got to do here is just go for the dogs first. I would recommend going for the dogs first. Again, keep in mind, you don't have to. It's just something that I suggest. Parries are also a really good option against Minotaurs too. And speaking of which, if you want to learn how to parry better, Minotaurs are a really good way of learning how to parry better. They have a lot of nice, easy attacks that kind of are simple to tell what's going to happen. They have a lot of attacks that are just blockable. I don't think they have any attack that's technically unblockable as far as I know. The charge attack, if you do get hit by it, they will launch you in the air. But you can, block while in air and come back down. And potentially stop the onslaught of things that they might do to you eventually. And of course, if you stay far enough away, these guys will go for a charge attack, making it almost easy enough to bait out a potential parry attack. But back to what I was saying earlier, the reason why I recommend going for the dogs first is so that way you can grab them and kick them into the Minotaurs. Or even into themselves. And plus, if you get the brutal kill with it, then you get that +5 orbs or whatever, so it kind of comes in handy. Please ignore the PS5 controller sensor thing there. Charger thing. Yeah, so it was dying during this. And the problem with PS5 controllers is they don't last more than like 5 minutes, so I have to charge like every fucking 5 seconds to basically get this shit to work. So we're just going to fast forward to this part. If you come up here to the left, there's 3 chests. There's 2 red and then 1 item chest, I guess. I forget what they're called. But yeah, basically a couple chests over there, a couple chests to the right. One's magic with red orbs, and the other one's just regular red orbs. After that, you're going to want to do, the whole crane thing. So that way you can start the puzzle. So you're going to want to first knock down the ladders, which is the thing that's kind of annoying that you got to do that, but hey. After that, you're going to fight a couple of guys. I'm still going to fast forward anyway because, let's be honest, these guys are relatively simple. Nothing too crazy. You're going to come down here, of course. You're going to come back to the base level, and you're going to grab that cinder block that you used for the first wheel. I don't know why I decided to use the harpies, not fast forward to the harpies again, but I guess I figured like harpies are annoying enough to where like people might struggle with them. Because personally speaking, I kind of do sometimes because they're a little bit annoying. And yeah, whenever they're about to go for a slam attack, I just start dodging, as much as I possibly can, just in the off chance that they might come back down. And then whenever I get like a chance to breathe, I'll start shooting away so that way I can stun them for a bit. And possibly stop them from hitting me. But again, yeah, bow comes once again in handy, as it always does. And L1 circle, always a good move to have. Any way you can get like invulnerability from avoiding like just the slam attacks and the harpies is definitely something I would, say is recommended. So the thing I kind of messed up here though is what you need to do. Just ignore me. I'm not supposed to be up here right now. I'm being stupid. Just ignore this part. I'm fast forwarding anyway just to kind of show like, yeah, I'm still kind of stupid, but yeah, this happens. Well, it's less so stupid and more so that I just happen to have forgotten how to do things correctly, I guess. The correct order. So first you want to go left, and then you want to put the cinder block there, so that way the hand doesn't move back. And that's the key trick with that. After that, of course, the other one goes right back in. I, of course, unplugged my charger on accident. I think it got knocked out, and then, of course, it turns off your controller because it's stupid. So anyway, starting off, let's just get into the Hades fight. So this fight is a little bit more harder than any fight you've probably fought so far. Few tricks to learn here. First of all, the stomp is something you kind of want to potentially bait out, so that way you can just dodge it. If you're not comfortable with dodging it, I would recommend trying to potentially bait out an attack like this. Staying at a little bit more of a slight distance is enough to kind of almost bait it out, because if you stay too close, he'll do a stomp more often than not. And if he does do a stomp, roll, shoot, and there you go. Learning the parry timing on this one's kind of a bit annoying because that first slam, you can parry it almost instantly. But that second, not first slam, but yeah, basically with his actual weapons, that first attack that he does, you can parry it almost instantly. That second attack, though, it has like a second delay between when you can attack. But these right here, you can block and you can parry both of them. This move cannot be blocked or parried as far as I know. And whenever he's doing that swipe thing, just kind of just jump in there and just start mashing square. Try your best to just stay in the air during that so that way you don't get hit. And if you're too close, he'll eventually grab you, which is annoying, but you know, it's a thing that he will do. And if you're too far away and he's starting to use his slams at a distance, then dodge to the opposite side of where his attack is going to be at. So like if he's attacking with his right arm, you're going to want to dodge like to the left. So that way, you know, because he's going to start attacking more so toward your right. And then that's kind of the best way to kind of dodge it. Because they kind of go at like a diagonal strike. So there's that. If I'm not mistaken, I believe you can parry them or at least block them. I don't know why I didn't. I think I was afraid of it. But either way. Yeah, they should be blockable technically. After that, you know, you got the slam. Now you're basically in phase 2. And also, save your rage and save your magic for just a bit longer here. That way you can just make sure you have enough for when you actually need it, when you feel like you're kind of starting to struggle, especially in third phase, because third phase has been annoying. Third phase, he's got less health, but to be fair, it's a bit more of an annoying phase for me, because I personally like more up-close fights like this where I can parry and stuff, and I would say either use Rage and Magic either in Phase 2 or Phase 3. So whichever one you kind of find harder, I would recommend. I know I said Phase 3 at first, but now I'm kind of changing my opinion just a little bit and saying, you know what? If you can get past Phase 3, just fine, because like he is technically a bit weaker, I guess. Just a bit more annoying to fight with. Then, yeah, I would say you can use your Rage here, use your Magic here if you want. Or you can always save it, you know, for potential other later fights that might give you some trouble. Whatever the case may be, that's completely up to you. So these skulls here, these are pretty fun to deal with because you can actually parry them. And the parry timing, luckily, is very lenient because it's almost seemingly like you can't block or parry them, but the amount of, like, the timing on it is just so nice and easy to you that, you know, if you just block, like, I feel like even like a second before they even, like, connect to you, you probably end up actually getting the parry. But then again, that could just be my own visual part of it. Like, maybe I'm seeing it that way. I don't know. Also, I recommend using the full square into the last triangle attack for the organs that pop out. So that way you can get a nice good slam and do a ton of damage. And also a little bit of AoE around the field. So that way the hands, you know, get destroyed at the same time as you're doing your attacks. So that way, you know, you don't have to deal with too much bullshit. So that move right there, that spin move, that basically indicates that he's going to be doing this ground chain attack. This is something that Dante's Inferno eventually put in their game, because I'm pretty sure Dante came out like a year after this game, if I'm not mistaken. So they kind of used this attack themselves. But every time that he's doing this will be a good time to use your bow. And I guess technically you probably could, you know, you could use Magic if you want. Maybe not so much Rage, but, you know, because I don't think you really need to get that close. Maybe Rage right about here, but yeah, I'd say just kind of stick with bow, personally speaking. I feel like that's a bit better. But if you get close enough, you probably could use Magic and potentially even Rage. Just kind of make it a much faster fight. Although, again, now that I'm looking at it, you know, again, I'm kind of, again, I keep using the same fucking words. Jesus Christ. I'm kind of taking my opinions back once more and just going to say that maybe Rage might not be the best for that. Maybe save Rage for Phase 2 instead. So this part's a bit more annoying. I don't remember if you can block these attacks or not. I usually just dodge them. It's more of like a last-second dodge type thing, because if you dodge it too early, they're going to get hit, and it's quite annoying. Now, I don't use the whole, you know, climbing back up part of this fight. I'm just going to use, him pushing me, or pulling me, sorry. I'm going to use him pulling me to my advantage, so that way he can stop doing, like, attacks, and I can kind of get just a few, like a couple of feet back into the main area, and then get, like, a couple of attacks. This part's annoying because it takes forever, but if you're fine with using, with mashing the circle button, then I would say just do what I'm doing here and just kind of, doing a few attacks, letting him pull you in, and then just falling off the ledge, and then kind of climbing your way back. And then getting a few more hits. That's the triangle attack right there. To be fair, it doesn't really matter much, because square and triangle attacks kind of have their own benefits and cons. Light attacks do less damage, but, they're faster, and then heavy attacks do more damage, but they're slower, so... Realistically speaking, in a case like this, you don't really need either or. It doesn't really matter. Just use something. And then, of course, I unfortunately did not use the circle prompt fast enough to get him here. But once you climb back up, if you're like me and you fall down, then Kratos will have enough room to kind of get back up, and then you can use the circle thing. And then, of course, you'd start mashing circle now. And that's at least the end of the main fight itself. Because after this, you get the Claws of Hades, and then you're stuck with using them for the remainder of the fight. Now, the other last part of Hades' fight, the, I guess, new boss fight that you're doing, is just, yeah, I would argue, like, way easier than the other one. So, once you get to this part, just play around with the Hades Claws, or just use the circle square like I do, just get through it. Whatever decision you decide, go for it. Now for this part, I'm just going to stick with just using the claws just for basic attacks. And then whenever he goes for that slam, I just tend to kind of just jump across. Whenever he goes for anything big, just make your way across. They typically will not lock you out of getting to the other platform. Because, like, right there, they allowed me to get back. I just didn't see it. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't using it right. But they will never really lock you out of that for, like, the unblockable attack. Because that laser attack that he does from his mouth, I'm pretty sure that's unblockable. Well, all of it's unblockable, but it's unavoidable, pretty much. As far as I know. Except for, swinging across. Now, you could use Rage of Sparta here if you want. Like, I have full Rage, but I'm just going to save it. When he's doing that attack right there, it's not only is it not blockable, but on top of that, you can't do damage to him. So that kind of sucks. And then for a slam move like that, just stay away from the middle section. Just kind of stay toward the left or the right. And, watch his arms. Figure out which arm he's going to use to attack you with. And just kind of, pay attention to what attacks he's going for. And whenever he's going for an unblockable attack, or even an attack that you don't want to get hit by or just don't like, just, dodge to the other side. Just, grapple to the other side of the map and finish him off. I think you can actually press circle from behind him, but I don't think you can. I don't remember. I did. I just, grappled my way back to the front just in case. Because I feel like you can't do that, but I'm not 100% sure. And real quick, I do want to say sorry about this episode in particular being kind of weird with the way I'm like speaking or like commentating, because it does kind of feel off. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm starting to kind of feel a little bit sick. It could be because there's a ton of fucking dust around here, or the fact that I've been doing this, for days on end now, just these recording videos, and things are getting to me, or I just, been staring at screens for too long. I don't know. So yeah, apologies for the video being kind of off, but other than that, yeah, that's it for this part, and I will see you guys in part 5, which I gotta record. So, as always, take care, everybody.